and welcome to the podcast. Okay,
what about it?
And you're watching our first episode, and you know, Chami is new, but I have a lot more experience, so I'm teaching her while we're on the way to like learning and discovering and manifesting.
Yes, ma'am.
The podcast, but I'm glad you guys could come. And
yes.
That you're watching. So
yes. But like Mauri said, it's his first time. I mean, what? Baby!
It's your first time.
It's my first time. Maurice has been doing this for forever.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of on here doing our thing. Also, if you want to go to subscribe to Maurice's podcast, you should go do that. Out every Monday?
Yes, every Monday.
Every Monday.
If I can upload on time. But basically my podcast is called The Real Life Podcast. I basically just talk about life. Basically just talk about my 20s, about like finding myself, and like discovering myself, and like bringing friends along the way. You've actually been featured on my last podcast.
Yes, I was.
So I'm still editing it. Hopefully it'll be out tomorrow, even though today's Monday.
What about it?
Literally, what about it? But yeah, today we're just gonna be basically talking about.
Yeah, we're just gonna be chatting
About.
Honestly, we don't know what we're gonna be chatting about.
That's what we're gonna talk about, because I'm honestly down for anything.
Okay. So since this is our first podcast, I feel like we should probably talk about ourselves.
Oh yeah.
And introduce ourselves.
Okay. Well, I am Maurice, or I go by Mauri. Whatever you want to call me. Like Reese is also fine. But basically, I go to IUPY. I'm studying communication. With really my focus in that is like around like media and culture, or like media and like society and stuff like that.
So I'm Chami's. I go to Ball State University, and my major is medical technology. All my STEM majors out there, we struggling. It's fine. It's just a lot going on right now, especially Miss Rona. She really said no in-person classes, so that means you're just gonna fail this semester. You're just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about Miss Rona, because she already stresses me out, and I feel like everyone talks about Miss Rona.
I think they're manifesting her again.
Yeah, so let's stop talking about her.
Cut it out. Girl, you know what? Something I really kind of want to talk about.
What?
I just kind of want to talk about like our experience. Like, I mean, we were just making a list of things we wanted to talk about, but I guess we can kind of like talk about those, like our relationships, like.
Okay,
like
yeah, we can do relationships.
But let's not focus it around like our own, like just our own, but like what can we what can people bring to the table? What can you bring to the table, like?
Okay.
And so, being single, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with being single,
So relationships are always iffy, because I'm not good with relationships. I'm gonna be completely honest. Relationships have always been difficult for me because of how clingy and possessive I am, and I know that I'm clingy and possessive.
I think I'm kind of the same way, because like it's nice to feel loved, like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. You just like, that's my baby,
right? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, I just feel like I'm not meant for relationships. And you know, like my last relationship, like I would say like my first real relationship is when I got to college.
Yeah.
Like shit from high school, middle school, all that bullshit. I feel like
that kind of just wasn't
a relationship.
Yeah, that wasn't it.
Like a genuine relationship
where it lasted more than a freaking month or two. You know what I mean? Like, but basically, I mean, I feel like being single, like, we overlook it, because like being single means like you're not with anyone. There's no one to take up your time. But I think being single can be really fun. Like, I think like when I was single for the longest, and before I got into the last relationship that I got in, I had felt kind of lonely, because all my other friends were in relationships at the time. Like, I'm talking like all my friends were in relationships, or the people that I talked to in my circle, you know what I mean? Because I keep my circle a little small, because, you know, it's okay. I like talking to like the same like 5 people.
Exactly.
Because it'd be stressing me out when I gotta text Amber back about the assignment that we just did yesterday, and she just asked me today, like
for what?
Yeah, like I'm one of those people who just like, I like to keep the circle small, but being single is like, I felt like it was the worst thing, because like everyone was in relationships, and I was like, I was missing out on having someone to make me feel loved or something like that, you know what I mean? Like,
or justified, exactly.
Right, because like when you want to justify the reason why you're single, because like, oh, you're not capable of it, you know what I mean?
I feel like the one reason why a lot of us have like boy problems or girl problems, whatever, is because we like to get ourselves distracted from things that we don't want to take care of.
Oh yeah, that's relatively true. I mean,
because like, you know, when we swipe on Tinder, when we swipe on Bumble, not sponsored. When we swipe on these dating websites, it's something to do, something to take up our time.
It's like it also I wasn't even reading something. I watched a video about like Tinder and like all those dating sites. It basically, like, the swiping, we get so used to it that our brain, it becomes like dopamine for our brain. Like when we scroll through social media, it gives us like a good feeling of gratification that, oh my god, there's people out there, so I can find the person that I'm supposed to be with, or I can find the friend that I'm supposed to find. But it's like, I feel like those websites give us like an unrealistic expectation of what the hell, like, it is, what it means to actually be single, and or even being single, but also finding, like, looking for a relationship. We can get like distracted by trying to find someone while we're single because we just don't want to be single. But like, for me, one thing I did, and the way I think this kind of worked out, was like, worked pretty well. Like, okay, I obviously had these websites like Tinder or Bumble or whatever people use, you know. But like, when I was single, I also wasn't like technically, oh my god, I'm gonna find a relationship on here. I was just kind of like, you just kind of just vibe. I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more of just like a kind of like, you're battling with this loneliness. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You're battling with this loneliness. You like want to talk to somebody, like talk to new people, talk to somebody new, and sort of give that attention that you don't usually get. Because I know when I was on dating websites, I was looking for attention, for guys to say, "Oh, you're pretty." I already knew I was pretty. For like this gratification, like it's always like that. And I feel like that's the same with social media. When we post something, we want somebody to comment and be like, yes, queen, you did that. Like, you want somebody to comment.
It's like a gratification.
It's those gratifications, when you have that gratification inside of you.
Yeah,
girl,
I just think that's so funny, because like, you don't realize that you're even doing it until you start to realize like where your time and energy is going. Like, you can, like, honestly, there was a point before, like, I was like okay with being single, but I was also still searching. But I wasn't like, I need to find someone to love, you know. And there was a point where I was like, before all that, where I was like, I spent so much time on Tinder really trying to search for the one, and I would change locations and everything. But I'm not even embarrassed to say that, you know what I mean? So.
I feel like everyone has sort of gone through that, especially when you're introverted like us. We're very introverted. Yeah. At times, we're more introverted than extroverted. I'm kind of both, but like,
I'm kind of both
introverted when it, like, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so you don't open up to people until you get to fully know them.
Yeah.
And so sort of putting yourself out there and just kind of talking basic conversation.
Yeah.
The same like, old hey.
I think that's so boring. Okay. Something else I want to, like, you know, when people, like, the first thing they do when they text you on like Tinder or Bumble or whatever. I keep saying Tinder and Bumble.
Let's just say dating sites.
Just dating sites in general. Like, you know, they always say hey instead of like, or sometimes like, hey, how are you? But it's like, I need a pickup line. I need something like that's cute, that's worth looking at. Because if I just see hey, I'm not gonna want to respond.
And it came to the point where if you just said hey, I wasn't gonna respond to you. You know, if you were probably fine, drop dead, I probably would have texted you back. But if you just said hey, I'm not gonna respond to you. And this could be for all the girls out there. Girls get a lot of swipes, so much more than guys do. No matter if you're gay or straight. Girls get so many likes and just swipes in general. And so when you have 100 messages and your thing, and all these niggas are saying hey, you do not want to answer that.
You kind of don't. Like, I mean, especially also another thing I want to talk about is like the like insecurity that comes with these dating sites, because all the people tell you that you're pretty or that you're cute. It's weird because they're not physically telling you those things. You know what I mean? Exactly. That's something else I dealt with, was like just the feeling, like the actual feeling of actually feeling those things, like, oh my god, you're cute, but I don't really feel that on a physical realm, like maybe on like a digital realm, like okay, social media, my pictures are really cute and aesthetic pleasing, but like in person, I'm like, I don't always feel that way, you know what I mean? So
I feel like we have to always have this justification. Like, if we think about dating websites, you go through this, you put all your information in, you put up these pictures, you're judging yourself. Is this picture good enough?
Yeah, that's something else.
Does it look perfect? Did I use the right filter? Did I do this, that, and the third? And it's so just painted on.
Yeah.
And it's all just a show.
It is like it's like a I'm gonna say like like you're walking down a runway, but you want to make sure you look perfect, you know.
Make sure you look spotless. Like,
yeah, because you're being judged, but you're not also being judged by judges. You're also being judged by yourself. So like, it's only a one-way street.
Especially if you're like for me, it was always kind of weird because I am pansexual.
Yeah.
So I go for all genders. So it was weird for me to go on sites and look at girls and look at guys and like people, and you would look at the girls and you would be like, she's so much more prettier than me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that too. There'd be guys I would look at, but I was like, oh my god, he's really cute. But it's like I wouldn't date him. But I'm like, dang, he looks a lot,
Yeah.
you know, better than me. He has like body goals, and it's like the body thing is it's a hard thing on dating sites.
Mm-hmm. And I just feel like social media in general has really affected how we look at each other.
Yeah.
And that's why I praise people like Lizzo that sits there and dances Lizzo. And like does the things that she does.
Because she's so
the things
confident.
that I'm insecure about, she just flaunts it, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Period.
And also Lizzo's big, like she's tall too, like you know what I mean. But I think that's where she gets her respect from. Like she's not, you know, she's not insecure about her body, like you know.
Mm-hmm. And even on like a social positive sort of like body positive thing, Megan Thee Stallion, she's humongous. She's tall as fuck.
She is tall.
Like she can dunk my ass, like no problem. But she's so proud of how tall she is. She calls herself Megan Thee Stallion for a reason.
Yeah. She's
a horse. She's big as fuck, and she does not care.
I think that's. I used to, like, honestly, I used to be so insecure about my height. Like, when I was younger, like, oh my god, I was so short. And then now I'm, like, you know, the growth spurt. And, like, now I'm, like, one of the tallest people in my family. So it's, like, things always come better later than they do now. So.
Yeah. Okay, back on the relationships. We got real off topic.
Honestly, that's fine. Because, like, you know, what about it? Like, you know, we just talk.
What about it? So back to relationships. You know, let's talk about college relationships.
Well, I mean, like, if you're in college, are you dating someone you both are in college, or is like just what do you mean, like going through the dating phase through college?
Going through the dating phase through college.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy.
So obviously you go to college for your schoolwork, right?
I mean, in a sense, like, okay.
In a sense, you
because
go
it's okay
to get your degree, right?
Yeah, but that's your main goal. But it's okay to, like, experiment and, like, talk to people, make friends, you know?
But it's always this thing where we're always fixated, or half of us are fixated on, I need a relationship now. I need a relationship. And so we do all these twists and turns trying to find our one. We're not going to find it.
Right.
Like you said, I'm not finding the love of my life in Indiana.
I generally do not believe that the person I'm bound to, like, marry to or be married to is lives in Indiana. I just don't believe that. I don't.
Yeah. But it's like those things. Like, we feel like we have to go in a relationship, and if I have told you how many guys I talked to in the 2 months that I was in college, you would probably slap me.
Girl, I don't want to know, but I kind of want to know. But I don't want to know. I think that's personal. Like, if you...
Yeah.
But it's just, like... I mean, because, honestly, as soon as I did get in college, I did have, like, Tinder. Like, because I was curious.
I had hoes on hoes. I'm sorry. Like, that's just how it was. I had, like Megan Thee Stallion said, I got 1 or 2 bays. Like, that's all.
1 or 2. Not 1 or 2. Yeah, okay. I'm just kidding.
But, yeah, it's just like those things, and I feel like we all the girls that I know have gone through that. And there are times when I wish I didn't do that, but there are times when I'm also like, listen, you grew from that. You went through that little whole phase that you didn't get to have in high school.
Yeah, because, like, a lot of people did not. I didn't even have that, so I thought, like, maybe college is like.
Girl. Yeah, but I'm happy I had my hoe phase in college and not in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then sort of when I got out of that was only for like 3 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. And then I was like, this ain't for me. And then that's when I got into a relationship.
Yeah.
It was just, I've learned a lot from that part of myself. It's always like you have this idea in your brain that I need to do this because I'm in college.
Yeah.
I need to do this because I'm in college. I'm an adult now.
Like I need to eat healthy. I need to work out every day. I need to be in a relationship. You know, but
I need to be in a good mindset every day. You do not have to be in a good
honestly,
mindset
like
every day.
it's hard to be in a good mindset. Like we're kind of shifting the topic a little bit off of the relationships, but with college, when you're going through, when you're in a relationship, you're also going through, and you're in college as well. You're also going through things that are affecting you, like the way you eat, the way you see your body, like your grades. Like it's hard. Like when
it's
you're in,
very hard
because you're worried about 10 million things in a row, and it's like you can't even keep up with a relationship, which kind of happened to me. Like, you know, like there was a guy I was talking to at a time, but it became too much, and I'm kind of glad we just kind of grew distant because I couldn't keep up. So
yeah, and that's like also the other thing. The more that you get into your major, the more you don't have time.
Yeah, no, literally,
the more so it's okay your freshman year, like like we hubby, my baby, my wifey, or whatever.
Sophomore year comes around.
Sophomore year, it's a wrap.
It really. This is only our first semester of our sophomore year, and I'm just.
And it's been like, no, ma'am.
It's been something.
And especially with Miss Rona coming around and her messing everything up. Yeah, no.
Like, honestly, the biggest thing, even with like I've learned, especially with COVID and being in trying to go through a college like relationship, is that it just comes in my mind when I'm like it's hard to meet people like physically, you know, instead of virtually, which is why like.
And I feel like that's why the dating apps are a thing, because we all are not going on there to date anybody. We're all just really going on there to talk to somebody,
right?
Because we miss that interaction, that touch, and that's like what I also miss. I miss being able to be in marching band and run around and give people hugs and give people high fives and go chirp chirp chirp, but I can't do that.
Because now
and it hurts. Like,
it does kind of hurt.
It really, because it was just so depressing for us to sing our alma mater, and us no one barely hearing us when we usually sing it really loud.
Yeah.
And all we can do is talk, and it's just like it hurts.
Yeah.
And so we missed that interaction, that hug, that feel. I remember last year, on campus, senior year, welcome week, there were thousands of people outside.
Yeah.
Throwing footballs, playing frisbee, playing volleyball. We have a volleyball net.
Yeah.
Literally riding bikes, doing like just cool like stuff, having picnics outside.
Right.
We can't have that anymore.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like everything really changed within the last year. Like a year can go by that quick, yet so slow, yet so boring. Yet everything also happened this year. You know what I mean? Like this as a whole, it's been a year.
Yeah, and the medical people in the medical field, I just want to say thank you, because
you guys are the reason a lot of people are still alive, and why a lot of people are still healthy, and so we do thank you guys.
I know it's been a backup. You can't even take care of patients that you need to take care of because of this pandemic, and it's really sad. Yeah,
which sucks because, like you just said, like a lot of people aren't able to get their procedures done or surgeries done because of COVID. Like people have to have been moving schedules, like so. Like I mean, like my dad was recently in a car accident. Like it was I think it was a few months ago, but he couldn't get the proper like treatment that he needed because of the hospital was so filled that he couldn't get an appointment, which is crazy. You know what I mean?
Which is wild. Yeah. That just like that.
Yeah.
Everything's just sort of flooded. So let's go back to the relationship thing. Let's talk about one good relationship and one bad relationship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, well, like, I mean, I've never really, like, been in a relationship, like, not until, like, this year, but, like, I guess...
It can be, honestly, a friendship.
Okay, I think...
Or close to a relationship type of thing.
Okay.
Close to dating type thing.
So there was this guy I met this last September. His name, I'm not going to say his name because, oh my God, I'm like, please do not say the name, Maurice. Please don't be that person.
Don't be that person.
But yeah, we were talking, and honestly, like, it was cool because I knew, like, I would always get replies, and I'd always just wonder, like, and they always, like, actually showed that they cared. Like, it was so close to a relationship, but I'm glad it wasn't, but it was still good because I got to experience, like, what it means to take up a lot of people's time, you know what I mean? So that was a good one. I just kind of got the feeling that, like, Okay, just because I ain't find the one in my life is not like I'm never gonna find that.
Exactly.
So that was a good relationship. I really didn't like. Honestly, we kind of did fall apart just because of communication issues.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. And also for a bad relationship, I wouldn't say it's bad, but it is kind of bittersweet. Mm-hmm. So I guess bittersweet is kind of like the same thing. It was good, but it was bad too. Mm-hmm. But it was just earlier this year when I think we talk about this so many freaking times. I know. I'm so sorry. Like, but it's just like, it's funny because like I really thought I would never be able to feel that from someone and like have that physical affection. Mm-hmm. Like I experienced that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's just like things weren't working.
Things were off.
And things were off. It was like, it was moving too quick, you know what I mean?
And it's like, for what?
Yeah, like literally.
Like what about it? Like, don't do that.
Like what about the relationship could have gotten better if we just like slowed down, you know? I think about all the possibilities of if we just took our time, you know, rather than rushing into everything, because I think we have this idea that we're running out of time to find someone's love.
Exactly, and I told you I'm running out of time. Right. And like the other thing, he probably felt like he was running out of time because you know what, we don't want to put his information about.
No, we're not gonna do that.
That's disrespectful. But I feel like you always wanted that physical affection, that love, that touch, and that's what you got. Yeah. But it lacked the effort.
Yeah, like the effort.
The momentum, the care, the talk, the trust, the friendship.
Yeah, I think it wasn't even like a friendship thing because we did feel like friends. We felt like best friends, but it felt like everything was going way too quick for me, and I was also dealing with school and like trying to keep up with school and like I wanted to make time for this person, but it was not possible.
And I also felt like you were very tied down to this person.
Yeah,
because I feel like I cherish me and Mauri's relationship so much because we hang out literally every single day. For now,
because eventually things are gonna change.
But when we go back to school, it's gonna be a wrap. But if we could hang out every single day, we would. And, you know, I felt like you were also tackling him, and you were also tackling me because you felt like you needed to see me every day because I'm your best friend, and you need to see him every day because that's your boyfriend, and this, that, and the third. And that just puts a lot of weight on somebody, especially when we have to worry about the semester and our schoolwork. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So I'm glad I did cut it off because I gained some sort of clarity back. Okay, now you go. Good and bad relationship.
A good relationship, would be my first relationship in college, my freshman year. I literally thought this man was the love of my life. I mean, there were some things that he just kind of like
red
didn't
flags.
Have.
Was it yellow flags or red flags?
Yellow flags.
Yellow flags, okay.
But there were some things that he didn't have, but I always enjoyed being around him and just knowing that he would listen and things like that. I sort of like that we were both different. It was almost like yin and yang. He likes different BS. I like different BS. We have different tastes in music, this, that, and the third. We always share each other our music and this, that, and whatever.
I think but even with like, that's good because like, imagine say like my last relationship, we liked things way too much. Like it was, so I get that. Like, it's so good to have someone who's not the completely same opposite, or like not even the complete opposite, but like completely the same as you. You know what exactly. I mean?
So we're kind of like yin and yang, where I'm kind of mean, and you're kind of nice.
Yeah.
Or
because I feel like I'm overly nice, but sometimes I do have a line where you cross, and if you cross it, I do become a different person.
What about the good relationship? It was all good until this bad relationship came. This bad person and this bad relationship came into view.
New relationship.
So now we're on bad relationship. This relationship, I wouldn't even say it was a relationship because we never dated. Like, he just ruined my relationship. It was just stuff that he would do. Like, it's like red flags.
Red flags. Oh no.
Like, he wouldn't text me, or he would be very dry. This, that, and the third. And you know, there are times when I sat and I would think like the reason that he's not texting me is because he don't want to fall in love. Like,
no, because like you kind of wonder like about those things. Like you wonder if they actually are interested in you.
And it's like you don't want to sit here and like like care too much, but you're also like, well, like, and then it also makes it hard when you're in the same group together, and now everyone sort of knows everything, and now you're getting looked at 24/7. Yeah, it was just not it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
That's a freshman year mistake that I wish I did not make. Like, I wish we were able to be friends instead of, you know, us being like sexual partners.
Yeah.
You know,
because you feel like you missed out on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Because I feel like we could genuinely be friends. We could hang out on a daily basis, do whatever, do this, that, and the third. But I remember like looking through the text messages, and I was like, "Why do you act this way?" And he was like, "The only reason I act this way is because you're just like me." And it's just like, you know it. And I was like, this man really makes me think. And when it got to that point where I was like thinking about him 24/7, I had to cut it off.